Oh, I think the church will die unless it opens up and begins to self-examine.
What is your response when people would say that embracing the LGBTQ plus community like this, and like, yeah, you can tolerate them, but then to put flags in front of Christ Church and to hold a pride service is going too far, and that's against Christian values? What would be your response to that?
What Christian values is it going against? Because in my book, the main Christian value that I'm promoting is that of love, acceptance, and inclusion. And if you look at the gospel of Christ, the pathway of Christ, the life of Christ, it's always he going to the margins, seeking out those who have been marginalized and bringing them into the community, in welcoming them and including them. And when you refer to the LGBTQ plus community as them, as other, you're automatically excluding and treating them as other than me. And that's what I challenge, and that's how I respond. The collect for the first Ash Wednesday in the Anglican Church begins, "O God, you hate nothing that you have made." And that's what I hold on to. That's the key to the Christian message, is that it's God loves, full stop, no conditions.
And so how do you feel when people might take certain passages of the Bible and use that as justification for excluding or marginalizing LGBT people?
Well, the old tenet, the devil can quote the Bible for his own purposes, and I don't make light of that, in that if you look and examine all the passages that people quote, they're all quoted out of context. And take, for example, the passage in Leviticus about thou shalt not lie with a man as you would with a woman. The whole context of that is the Levitical law of the woman being the second best, or the less than a man. So the law is about how dare you treat a man as a woman, because you're treating that man less than a man. It's nothing to do with sexuality. It's all to do with male superiority, which is another issue within society as well. Yes, I'm radical. Yes, my faith is radical. Because it needs to be radical, because my faith is about empowering, and my ministry is about empowering. It's empowering people who are feeling flattened, marginalized, and cornered, to be liberated. This is about liberation.
Directly to young queer people who might be watching this. Number one, you are perfect. And there's nothing wrong with you. No matter what anyone has ever told you, no matter what anyone ever will tell you, you are perfect and you are marvelously made. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there is courage inside of you that you don't even know you have yet. And maybe you do know it. Maybe you've already had to draw on that courage. But trust me when I say this, it gets better for you, and that there is something deep inside of you that you will be able to draw on as long as you live. And then the third thing that I would say is you are welcome here. And if you are a young person who's maybe struggling with your faith in context of your sexuality, it's okay. You have a place in our church, no matter where that church is, because humans don't own the church. God does. And God has already created you. And I said it earlier, God does not create junk. God does not make mistakes. You're not a mistake. You're a wonderful, miraculous being on this earth. Never forget that.